Hey there friends, and welcome to a new video here on Make Your Money Thrive. I'm Christina and I'm really excited to share with you the 2025 My Money is Thriving budget planner. This is the ultimate budget planner for cash budgeters in particular if you want to be super intentional with your money and achieve some important financial goals. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what this looks like. Before I get into this flip through, I will also mention that I also create something called the Life Builder Planner, which is an all-in-one planner that has not only your day-to-day planning in it, but also your financial planning in it. So I am going to leave a link down below in the description that has a full flip through and walkthrough of that planner, so that if you're interested in more of an all-in-one solution, you can pick that one up instead of just the budget planner specifically. And that video is over on my main channel, which is linked down below, and feel free to subscribe over there as well. All right, so I actually have two different things here in front of me. I have the budget planning workbook and I also have the actual budget planner. So I'm going to start by showing you the budget planner, and then in the second half of the video, we'll go through the budget planning workbook. So the 2025 My Money is Thriving budget planner is a fully printable budget planner. Right now, it's only available in one size, which is US letter size, but you might be able to scale it and kind of change things if you want to print it onto a different size. And I just printed mine and put it into a 3-ring binder. I really like the simplicity of using a 3-ring binder. When I used to create and sell budget planners physically, I did put them on discs, and then I also sold them as inserts so that you could bound them however you like. But I figured I'd just make it printable this year so that you can pick it up and bind it how you want to. And I chose this 3-ring binder. So there is a back section that has a lot of notes pages in here, but I pulled that out just because I really wanted the planner to fit here in this binder because I love the color. And this is actually the binder that I used a few years ago when I got really intentional about budgeting and actually started creating my own budgeting spreads. So it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. And since in the new year, I want to get back into budgeting since I've kind of fallen off with it a little bit, I figured that this would bring a lot of good vibes and positivity and all that to use it again. But the budget planner is 400 pages. So it is a thick planner. It's got plenty of spreads and all of that in here, and we'll go through exactly what's in here. So when you print it front and back, it comes out to be 200 pages, but that is quite a bit to fit on these. I think these are 1-inch rings, honestly. So that's a lot to fit on here. So I figured I could pull out the notes section. I'll probably keep them here in the pocket, and I'll also show you why I felt okay with pulling out the notes section when we get into the planning notebook. So this is what the cover page looks like. It says the 2025 My Money is Thriving budget planner, and you have a little line here to put your name on here. And then turning the page, we just have the back cover page. It just says your money is yours, use it on your terms. I used to brand under Your Money on Your Terms budget planner, so I really like this, and I just wanted to keep it in the My Money is Thriving budget planner as well. And then we have some notes here in this page. It's kind of a welcome page, and it is talking about how it is you can make your money thrive. So you've got some information here that is going to help you to do that. You can definitely remove this page if you want to. And then it just has like kind of these tips that I use in my budgeting method and all of that. So then we get into the first section, and the planner is broken up into sections so that you can move things around really easily however you would like to. So first is this reference section here. And in reference, you're going to have your future planning calendars. So you have your mini calendars for the entire year. And I will also mention that the only version of the planner available right now too is a Sunday start. Usually I will do a Sunday and a Monday start, but historically people have always bought the Sunday start of my budget planner. So for this year, I simplified and just did a Sunday start. But you have the little mini calendars for every month of the year. So you have your first 6 months here on this 2-page spread, and then on the next one, you'll have the second 6 months. You also have space to list out your special occasions for those months, and your notes for those months. And this is a great way to make sure that you're listing out any important information that's going to impact your money or your budget in particular. So then after those future planning calendars, you get into this spread that says you have the power across the two spreads here, and a little bit of information talking about money and our perception of it and all of that. And then some space to write some notes about what you just read and to list out some affirmations about your money, your wealth, your finances, your budget, etc. And then you have a space to put your word of the year as it relates to your money in particular. Next, you have a 2-page spread with the 5 money goals that I mention and talk about with my budget method. So this is just some information here, and you have a space for some notes. And then you have some pages in here to actually list out what your 5 goals are within each of these categories. So you have 6 of these spreads in here so that you can break them down quarterly, and you can also do some for the beginning of the year and mid-year as well. Then you have just this blank space for some additional thoughts, and then you get into your budgeting key and categories. You can separate out your needs, your wants, whether it's going to be a cash or cashless category for you, and the color for each category. And then you also have any additional categories to track. So this is a great place to list out like sinking funds or like just different groups of categories that you want to track with your budget as well. Then you have a lines page for notes in the back, and then we get into the next section, which is goals. So here in your goals section, this is where you're going to actually plan out the goals that you want to work on in your budget. I know that we had those 5 money goals in the reference section, but those are definitely more high level. But when you come into your actual goals planning, this is when you're going to drill in and figure out how it is you're going to accomplish those 5 money goals. So you have a blank page here that you can use for mind mapping your goals and just kind of doing some brain dump. And then over here on this lined page, you can use this to get more clarity about the types of goals you want to set. Then you have your money goals spreads. So you have this year I will, so that you can say what it is you intend to do with your money this year. And you can list out up to 6 major money goals and also some money habits that are going to support actually achieving those money goals. Then on this page here, you have a goal action steps page that you can break down the specific action steps related to these major money goals. And then you have some quarterly goals planning in here as well. So you have Q1 right here where you have January, February, March, and some space for notes down here as well. And then you have this quarter I will, so that you can set your quarterly intention. You have space for up to 6 quarterly goals. So those would be drilling down from your annual goals that you just set on the previous page. And then you also have space for the money habits you'll be working on this quarter. And you have that for all quarters of the year, all 4 quarters here. Then on the back, you have a space for notes, and then we get into our trackers section. So within our tracker section, we start with our 2025 bills tracker. This is where you can list out all of the bills that you have in your budget, and you'll write out the name of it, when it's typically due throughout the month, quarter, year, what have you, the expected amount for that bill, and whether or not it's fixed, so it's the same price every single time, or if it's something that's going to vary, such as your electricity bill or utilities bill, etc. Then you also have a subscriptions tracker. Some folks like to just lump their subscriptions under bills. I think it's worthwhile being able to separate that out just so that you know what is a subscription, because typically the majority of subscriptions are not necessary. And when it comes to wanting to cut costs, coming and looking at your subscriptions is one of the best places to take a look at it. And then if you add subscriptions throughout the year, it'll be nice to see things start to prop up. You can put a note on there that says like when you added it and stuff like that. Then you also have your sinking funds tracker here. So setting up what the sinking fund is, the name of it, what type of sinking fund, and I'll be doing a video here soon talking about the different types of sinking funds that I speak of in the Make Your Money Thrive method. So make sure that you get subscribed and stay tuned for that. And then whether it's a cash sinking fund or if it has an account, what the goal is, the deadline is, start date, and the date that it got funded. Then you also have a debt payoff plan in here. You can list out the name of the debt, how much money is remaining on it, what the monthly payment is on that debt, the annual percentage rate for it, what would be the amount if you paid it off in 6 months, how much would you have to pay each month? If you paid it off in 12 months, how much would you pay each month? And then a spot to rank your debt here on this last column. Then you have a sinking funds tracker. So those were kind of more the summaries of your sinking funds and your debts. So setting some sinking funds goals, setting some debt payoff goals, and getting that clarity there. And here you have your trackers for each of them. So you have your sinking funds tracker that will have the fund name, and you'll write in the ending balance for each of your sinking funds at the end of each month. So really what you want to see, if it's a sinking fund that's more long-term, you want to see that balance increasing over the course of the year. And then you have your debt payoff tracker, which is going to be the exact same thing, but you're doing it for debt and you're writing in the ending balance for each debt every single month. And you want to see that balance going down over the year, and that'll show that you're on the right track. You also have an annual spend tracker. I think it's really important to make sure that you have a way to see how you're spending across your year, across different categories. So we have the spend tracker to do exactly that. You can list out different categories here and how much you spent each month in each category, and you can start to see some trends. And then you also have your 2025 savings tracker. So this is where you can list off different savings accounts and how much you've saved each month. And you have a space for notes here on this page. Then you also have your 2025 investments tracker. So you can list out the investment account, how much you invested each month, space for notes, and your 2025 income tracker. Again, write out the income source, list how much you earned with each of your income streams each month, and then you have a space for notes here. And then you also have your 2025 net worth tracker. So you have all of the months here, and then you'll calculate your ending net worth here at the bottom by taking your assets, subtract out your liabilities, and that'll give you your net worth. You can also record your credit score each month and what changes you see from the previous month. So then we get into our savings challenges section, and with the Make Your Money Thrive method, I do include 2 savings challenges that are standard that I think are incredibly effective. They've been really amazing for me and have worked really well for people who have picked up my planner in the past. So the first page you have in here is your savings challenge allocation. And this is where you are going to list out the savings challenges that you completed each month and where you're allocating the money from those savings challenges. And that's really how I like to use savings challenges in the Make Your Money Thrive method, is not just to have fun saving money, even though it does make it really fun, but it's also to help support your money goals. So whether it's to invest more money, whether it's to build up an emergency fund, whether it's to fund travel and some of these other types of sinking funds that it's hard to budget for, I like using savings challenges to help do that and accomplish those goals. So then you also have a savings challenge summary. So for each month, you can list out how much money you saved per savings challenge and then a grand total of what you saved across all of your savings challenges each month. So then we get into the Make Your Money Thrive savings challenges. So you have your Keep the Change savings challenge and also the Cash Sweep savings challenge. And those are the instructions on how to complete them. So you have your tracker for the Keep the Change savings challenge here, and then a 2-page tracker for your Cash Sweep savings challenge. Then on the back, you have some lines page for notes or setting up a tracker of your own. And then we get into the actual planner. So then on the back, we have the 5 principles of making your money thrive, being abundant, intentional, resourceful, generous, and then of course, thriving. So we start with January 2025, and each month is going to have a cover page that looks like this. And then all of the calendars are going to be a 2-page calendar like this. They are dated because this is the 2025 version, and they go from Sunday through Saturday with a Sunday start. So you have a space up here to put your money mantra for the month. You can also list out your top 3 goals for the month. And you also have a sinking fund summary here on the left-hand side. And then you also have this box here that you can use for notes or to-dos or whatever you want to use it for. So the first page that you have of your budgeting spreads is your budget brainstorm. This is where it's a great place to do a brain dump of everything that you want to accomplish with your budget for the month. So anything that needs to be fit into your budget, so things that came up or are coming up that you don't necessarily have a line item for, and whether you are going to fund it from a sinking fund or if it's something that truly needs to get budgeted that month. You also have a space to list out special occasions for the month and also any changes that are going to happen to your budget. So any new bills or any bills you're taking away, etc., or any changes like in the cost of bills. And then you also have a space to list out some to-dos that you want to get done and a space for some money habits and doing trackers for your money habits for the month. And then you have some space for additional thoughts. Then you have your monthly budget plan, and this is where you're going to essentially do your monthly budget. So taking into consideration all of the income that you expect to receive, the bills that you need to pay, anything that you need to fit in, or this could also be used for debt payoff. If that's one of your major goals, you can use this box for whatever you want. That's why it's not labeled. And then your needs, your wants, and also your sinking funds and what you intend there. And this is based on doing zero-based budgeting. So if there is money left over after you take into consideration your income, you subtract out bills, needs, wants, and anything in this box in your sinking funds. And if you still have cash remaining, you want to write that here and what you're going to do with that money. Then we have a cash summary. So this is where you can keep a track of your cash envelope stuffing log. So what date you added money to what category, how much you were supposed to stuff, and how much you actually stuffed. And then you also have a cash out log. So this is where for each of your paycheck budgets, you can come over here and list out the denominations that you need to take out for each of your budgets. And you also have a space for notes here. Over here, this is where we get started with our paycheck budget. So you'll list out the income that you are budgeting, and you do have multiple lines for multiple sources of income. If you do have multiple income streams, you'll list out the bills and your needs. And then you want to do what is your bills plus your needs. So bills plus your needs, those are your true living expenses. So you want to add that up and see what that total is. It's really nice to see how much of your paychecks are going towards your living expenses every single month or every single time you get paid and overtime as well. And then you want to figure out, well, what's remaining after you take care of your bills and your needs. And then that's what you have to go towards this box here, whatever you choose to use it for, your wants and your sinking funds. And you also have a sinking fund summary. So for the sinking funds that you are actively working on filling for the month or adding money to for the month, then you can always list these out on your paycheck budgets and keep track of how much you added this check towards the goal for the month, and then what you have remaining in each of your sinking funds to add. So you have 5 paycheck budget spreads in here so that if you get paid weekly and if it happens to be a 5-week month, you have enough for that. If you don't need all of these paycheck budgets, you can always just take out what you don't need. And then on the back, you have some lined page. And then we get into our weekly expenses, and tracking and checking in expenses on a weekly basis is really, really effective and important if you want to be intentional with your money and be able to do the cash sweep savings challenge. So you have a full page here that you can list out expenses. You can put the category, what date, the transaction type, whether it was cash or with a credit card or a debit card, description, so where did the spend happen, the exact amount with the cents on there, the keep the change to go with the keep the change savings challenge, and then the rounded amount for the transaction. And then we get into our weekly check-in. So on the back, you do have more space for more transactions, but then down here, you're going to check in your week and see how much you spent across your categories and do your cash sweep. So again, with this, you have 5 weeks in here, and you can just very easily take out what you don't need if there's not a 5-week month. And then we get into our closeout pages. So we start with our spend breakdown, which is really kind of doing an analysis of what's going on or what happened with your money throughout the month. Where did you spend the most of it? How much was budgeted to spend versus how much you actually spent, and what you want to carry over into the next month. And then you also have a budget update. So this one on the top is labeled as sinking funds, but then you can use these other ones for anything else you want to do an update for. These ones are completely blank so that you can customize it as you need it, whether you want to use it for debt, investments, additional savings, etc. And then you also have your budget reflections. So you can think about your top 3 goals, whether or not you achieved it, and a summary of what happened there. You can also just put, the available balance amount you spent this month, how much you put towards sinking funds, how much you saved, and then you have another little box as well. And then you want to reflect on what happened with your money, how much progress you made, and all of that with these prompts here. And any areas you were over budget in and why, and then how you're feeling about your budget, your money, and whether or not your spending aligns with your goals for the month, why or why not, and then any additional notes that you want to put. Then on the back, you have a space to start putting some thoughts together about the next month coming up. So figuring out what the top 3 goals could be for the next month, any changes that you want to make based on your closeout pages to carry into the next month, and then you get right into that new month. So then after all of the monthly sections, you would just have your note section there at the back. So now let's take a little look at the My Money is Thriving Budget Planning Workbook. So this is also printable on my site, which is linked down below, and it is undated. So this one, you can grab it and just use it as you see fit over and over. You wouldn't have to grab this each year because this is not dated. For those of you who want to pick up the Life Builder Planner, then you can grab this as a supplement to go alongside the Life Builder Planner, or you can grab it to go along with the dated 2025 My Money is Thriving Planner as well. So I just did a little vellum cover here so that I could encapsulate this onto some discs like this. Our cover page is very similar to the cover page in the planner, but this one says My Money is Thriving Budget Planning Workbook. You do still have a line to put your name there. Same thing here, your money is yours, use it on your terms. And then we get right into our budget planning section. So each month you will have a monthly budget brainstorm. You do have this in the budget planner, but in case you did not get the full budget planner and you're using it with the Life Builder Planner, the Life Builder Planner does not have the monthly budget brainstorm, so you can use this alongside it. On the back, you have some space for notes. Then you also have a page for your monthly goals and sinking funds, and this is where you can kind of really determine those top 3 goals that you want to focus in on and carry that into your budgeting for the month. Then you also have a rough draft budget. So I love the rough draft budget. This is what I use the most in my budget planning workbook, is being able to actually figure out before the budget comes up or before the income is received what my thoughts are for how my budget could play out. So if there are a lot of things that you need to fit in for the month, if your income varies and you want to play around with what you could potentially do towards your goals, you want to use your rough draft budgets to do that. And you have 5 paycheck budgets that you can kind of do a mock draft of what your month would look like. And then you have plenty of space for notes. You also have a mid-month review sheet here in the budget planning space. I love doing a mid-month review because it's an opportunity for you to re-baseline based on how the month is actually going. So if you're ahead of your goals or if you are a little bit short on your goals, you can re-baseline and kind of consider, well, what do I want to do with my money for the rest of the month? Then you also have some lined paper on the back there. And then you have your cash envelope stuffing plan. So this is great for helping you to figure out what those bill denominations are going to be. You saw that cash summary in the budget planner, but this is where you can list out for each category that you need to stuff for each paycheck, what's the amount you need to stuff, and then go through and put tally marks for the denominations that you want to get for each. And then that's how you can determine how your money needs to look and what you need to get out of the bank. So you do have 5 of these to go along with 5 paycheck budgets. And then on the back of the last one, you do just have some lined paper. So you're going to have 12 sets of these in here. You can always break them up with some tabs here, but since it's undated, there are no dividers with within them. So then after you get through all 12 of those sets, you do have a note section in the budget planning workbook as well. And that's why I was okay with pulling out the note section, like I mentioned, from my budget planner, because I know that I would typically write my notes in my budget planning workbook. So you've got plenty of pages back here for notes, and you can always print more and add them into your workbook as well. And on the back here, it just says, write it down, take action, live an abundant life. And you know, that's just what we're all about when it comes to making our money thrive. So that's the 2025 My Money is Thriving budget planner, and also the undated My Money is Thriving budget planning workbook. Again, link is down below if you want to see a full flip through and walkthrough of the Life Builder planner as well, which does include budgeting pages in there. It's kind of your all-in-one planning solution. Hope that you enjoyed seeing the flip through of these. And the 2025 budget planner, like I said, it's a printable planner, but this is the month of December when I'm recording this and getting it posted. I know that we are all gearing up for 2025, and I do have it marked down on sale since 2025 is just like literally around the corner. So I want to make it easy for you if you want to pick it up and start using this for your 2025 planning system. So definitely check that out at the link down below. I am so excited about getting this channel up and running. I really miss doing budgeting content. I did that for a few years, and I'm excited to get back to it. I knew that bringing in budgeting and finance was something that I wanted to do with my overall brand, Real and Thriving, but it was just a matter of figuring out how and where. And I figured that separating it out here on its own channel would make the most sense. And I will be excited to interact with a lot of you here on this channel, as well as on my main channel and my other channels that are geared toward just helping you build and live an authentic and thriving life. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them down below in the comments. I'd be happy to interact and chat with you, and also just share with me your impressions. What are your thoughts about the budget planner? What are some of your goals for your finances in 2025? I'm so excited. I can't wait to share more tips and information about cash budgeting with you, cash envelope stuffings, showing my budget, and all of that. I can't wait to get that back up and running. So definitely get subscribed if you are excited about that. If you want some effective budgeting tips to make your money thrive in 2025 and beyond, make sure that you get subscribed. I'd absolutely love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye.